10 Wild Animals in Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is an African country located in the western part of the continent, below the Sahara. Many indigenous languages are still being used in the country, and it used to be a French colony, hence its name and official language. An interesting part of the country that I wanted to tackle is its wildlife. In light of that, I have listed the best of it, and I hope you will love learning what animals live in Ivory Coast. In place 10, African fish eagle. The African fish eagle, also known as the African sea eagle, is a large species of eagle native to sub-Saharan Africa. It lives near bodies of open water with abundant food supply, and the coastline of Ivory Coast is ideal. It is a large, powerful eagle that mainly feeds on fish, which it grabs with its large talons. There are 300,000 individuals in the wild and it is considered least concern, due to its very wide distribution of about 18,300,000 square kilometers / 7,065,669 square miles. In place 9, Egyptian vulture. The Egyptian vulture, also known as the white scavenger vulture or the Pharaoh's chicken, is a small species of vulture that can be found in the Iberian Peninsula, India, North Africa, and Sub-Saharan Africa. It gets its name from the fact that it was pretty important in ancient Egypt's culture, and had its own hieroglyph. When British sportsmen traveled to colonial India, they thought this bird was one of the ugliest ones, and its habit of feeding on feces was despised. In place 8, giant eland. The giant eland, also known as the Lord Derby eland, is the largest species of antelope in the world and can reach a body length of up to 290 centimeters / 114 inches. This antelope is herbivorous and feeds on branches, grasses, and foliage. It gathers in small herds of 15 to 25 individuals, with both males and females, and is not territorial. It is very difficult to approach, as it is constantly alert and wary. In place 7, Orabi. The Orabi is a small species of antelope that inhabits eastern, western, and southern Africa, and is diurnal. It usually forms small herds of around 4 individuals and grazes most of the time. This antelope can be found in a wide variety of areas, from floodplains, savannas, and tropical grasslands to montane grasslands. Although its distribution is pretty wide, the populations are very small and scattered. In place 6, African wild dog. The African wild dog, also known as the African painted dog or the African hunting dog, is a species of wild canid native to sub-Saharan Africa. It is the largest wild canine in the continent, and there are about 1,400 mature individuals that live in 39 different, scattered populations, which is why the species is listed as endangered. This wild dog is a specialized hunter of antelopes that chases them to exhaustion. It hunts by day and has to deal with lions that kill it and spotted hyenas that steal its food. In place 5, black-crowned crane. The black-crowned crane is a species of crane native to sub-Saharan Africa. It inhabits wetlands and has a characteristic golden crown on top of its head. This bird species is a generalist feeder that mostly eats insects, mollusks, fish, reptiles, and amphibians. Although there are 27,000 to 47,000 individuals in the wild, this species is considered vulnerable to extinction because of habitat loss, dam construction, and hunting. In place 4, Nile crocodile. The Nile crocodile is a large species of crocodilian native to the freshwater bodies of Africa. It is one of the most famous animals in Egypt but can be found throughout almost all of sub-Saharan Africa, in 26 countries more precisely. This reptile has strong, heavily armored skin and is a dreadful, opportunistic apex predator. Very aggressive, it can kill almost any animal within its range and will feed on whatever it can. In place 3, Senegal bush baby. The Senegal bush baby, also known as the lesser bush baby, the lesser galago, or the Senegal galago, is a small species of primate native to sub-Saharan Africa. It can be found from the western coast of the continent to the Horn of Africa, as well as Kenya and Tanzania. This primate has large eyes that give it good night vision, as well as a long tail that is ideal for balance. In place 2, lion. The lion is a large species of wildcat native to Africa and India. It is arguably the most notorious animal in the entire continent, and it is an apex and keystone predator, which is why it absolutely needs to be protected. Because yes, like many other large African mammals, the lion is seriously threatened by poaching and habitat loss. Its population has declined by about 43% in only 30 years, and it is only getting worse over time. In place 1, spotted hyena. The spotted hyena, largely known as the laughing hyena, is a large species of mammal native to sub-Saharan Africa. It is an extremely successful species and the most common large carnivore on the continent. Contrary to popular belief, this mammal is not primarily a scavenger, but rather a hunter that feeds on mammals most of the time. It can eat almost anything, even bones, animal waste, and skin, which is also a reason for its wide success.